Governor Walz, you've been sitting over there pretty quiet. I got a question for you.
I love to talk. Thank you, Congressman.
Fair enough. You said earlier that the ICE agents under the orders of President Trump are a modern-day Gestapo. Do you realize how disgusting a phrase that is, considering the history of Nazi Germany? Would you like to recant that statement?
We just watched a small piece of Byron Donalds absolutely taking Governor Tim Walz to task. And I have to say, it is about time someone called this out. Look, we see a lot of heated rhetoric in Washington, but comparing American law enforcement, specifically ICE agents, to the Nazi Gestapo, that is a bridge too far. It's not just inaccurate. It's disrespectful to the history of the Holocaust and to the men and women who put on that uniform every day to enforce the laws our own Congress passed. In this video, Byron Donalds does exactly what a leader should do. He demands accountability for reckless language. He doesn't let Walz slide with a pivot. He pins him down on the facts. I'm really feeling Donald's energy here because he's standing up for the rule of law while Walz seems to be playing for Twitter likes.
Governor Walz, you've been sitting over there pretty quiet. I got a question for you.
I love to talk. Thank you, Congressman.
Fair enough. You said earlier that the ICE agents under the orders of President Trump are a modern-day Gestapo. Do you realize how disgusting a phrase that is, considering the history of Nazi Germany? Would you like to recant that statement?
What I said, Congressman, and I have a long history of supporting law enforcement, I said President Trump was using them as his modern-day Gestapo, not identifying who you are, coming up in unmarked vans, taking people away and giving...
Is it the responsibility of ICE to actually deport illegal aliens in the United States who are here? Isn't that their responsibility?
Yes, it is, Congressman, except that the Constitution is not an inconvenience. It's not an either-or.
Nobody said an inconvenience. You have a responsibility to deport illegal aliens, and the president is going through that process right now. And let's be very clear, the previous administration, they abused every process there is under border laws to allow more than 10 million people into the country illegally. And this is a burden on all Americans. And so the president is doing his job. So it is sick to refer to Americans who are ICE agents as Gestapo. Governor, you're wrong. You need to apologize to these agents. They're doing their jobs. They are Americans. They serve this country with honor and decency and respect. Do not diminish their work simply because you tried to make a cheap point that you could tweet. I yield back.
Chair now recognizes Ms. Stansberry from New...
Let's break that down because there was a lot of fire in that room. First off, can we talk about how Byron Donalds started that? He's calm, he's collected, and he asks a direct question. Would you like to recant that statement? That is a power move. He gives Walz a clear exit ramp to say, hey, maybe I use a poor choice of words, but instead, Walz doubles down. Walz tries to play the I support law enforcement card, but you can't say you support them in one breath and then compare their operations to one of the most evil secret police forces in human history in the next. It just doesn't add up. Donald sees right through the unmarked van's talking point and brings it back to the core of the issue, responsibility. I love the moment where Donald asks if it's the responsibility of ICE to deport people who are here illegally. Walz has to say yes, because, well, that's literally the law. Donald is exposing the hypocrisy here. You can't acknowledge that these agents have a job to do and then demonize them for actually doing it. The most powerful part for me was the end. Donalds calls it what it is, a cheap point made for a tweet. He's 100% right. We've moved into this era of politics where people would rather get a viral clip than show respect to the people serving the country. Donalds calling for an apology to those agents wasn't just political theater. It felt like a genuine defense of American workers who are being used as political footballs. Donalds pointed out that over 10 million people have entered illegally and that the burden is on all Americans. He's connecting the policy failure at the border to the unfair rhetoric being used against the people trying to fix it. Honestly, Byron Donalds continues to prove why he's one of the most effective communicators in the party right now. He's sharp, he knows the facts, and he isn't afraid to look someone in the eye and tell them they're wrong. Walz looked completely cornered there. What do you guys think? Was Donalds too harsh, or was he right to demand an apology for the Gestapo comments? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your take on this confrontation.